Okay, grade 9, we're on 3.2, so if you turn to page 92 in your book, we'll be ready to start. So this is adding and subtracting rational numbers. Those rational numbers, if you recall, can be negative or positive whole numbers, and all the fractions and decimals, as long as the decimal terminates, so it ends, or it repeats. Those are rational numbers. So to add those, basically this should be a pretty simple review. According to this book, you use a number line to add A and B. We start at A and move according to B. So if B is positive, we move to the right. If B is negative, we move to the left. So this is not near as hard as it might seem in that book. But so to find negative 2 plus 5, if you want to use a number line, you start at negative 2 and you move to the 5. So you'll just see in the book, you start at negative 2, we move 5 to the right, and that gives us 3. If you've been in my class before, I really like to consider negative numbers to be what you owe, and if it's positive, you have. Most of us can think money real quick. That means you owe $2, you have $5. So in the end, you should have $3. If you like to use a number line, that's fine. In example number 2, we have $4 to start, and then we end up owing 6. So start at 4 over here and go 6 to the left because it's negative, which means you go in the hole. And if you have $4 to start with and you go in the hole $6, you end up at negative 2. That means you owe $2. So again, you have the 4 and the negative means you owe it. And so you owe 6, and so you end up owing 2. All right, pretty standard. That came from integers last chapter. On example 3, that question is just 1.7 plus 0, so obviously the answer is just 1.7, so that's pretty easy. Okay, turn the page. All right, so here's the deal. Here's some rules. That if 2 positive numbers are added, your answer is a positive. If there are 2 negative numbers are added, the answer is negative. And if you have a positive and a negative, blah, blah, blah. I don't even like these rules. What I say is, if you have a positive and negative sign together, that makes one big negative. So this is 5, and then this dash, and then 3. And I don't care whether you call that this dash a negative or a subtract. It means you're in the hole. So here you have $5, and here is where you owe 3, which leaves you having 2. So it's 2 to the good. Okay, so I don't care what these symbols are right here. I don't care. If they're different symbols, it's a minus. Okay, if they're different, it's a minus. If they're the same sign, it becomes a positive. So that will help us go down here. Okay, so it says rules for subtracting. Again, I don't even look at the rules. Here's what I look at. This means you have it, have 4, and owe 7. That means you owe negative 3 when you're done. Here, you owe 5 and you owe 3. That means you owe a lot. You owe 8. Now, the next example right here, this minus minus, when they're the same sign and they're right together, that becomes a plus. So turn that into a plus. And then you owe 6, you have 8, so you have 2 when you're done. Same thing on the next example here. You owe 4, this minus minus, it's the opposite of the opposite. So that's a plus. So negative 4 plus 3, you owe 4, but you have 3 in your pocket, so you owe 1. Okay, even if we're adding, it doesn't matter. If the signs are the same, it's a plus, and if they're different, like in this case, a plus and a minus, make a big minus, so make it a minus. So here you have 4, you owe 7, leaves you owing 3. This is just a negative. You owe 5, you owe 3, so you owe 8. Oh, in this example, you owe 6, but you have 8. That leaves you with 2 in your pocket, so you have it. Here you owe 4, you have 3, so you still owe $1 when you're done. That is all review from last year when we did integers. Okay, now, what happens at the decimals? It's exactly the same. You just have to add. So at this time, you will not be using any calculators allowed for this homework. You will have to add these up. Now, when you add up decimals, make sure you line up the decimals when you add. And then you can just add them up 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, carry the 3. That's 6.13. Okay, so make sure you add them up, and you are not allowed to use a calculator to add these decimals. So throw out your calculators for this chapter. Okay, so here we go, 342 plus a minus 271. Well, that plus or minus, the signs are opposite signs, they're different, so it just becomes a minus. So here's what you do, 342 and you minus 271. Line up your decimals when you subtract, and away you go. 2 take away 1, you have to borrow from the 3 to make a 14 take away 7, and 2 take away 2 is nothing. So your answer is 0.71. That would be like if you had $3.42, think money, $3.42, and you lose $2.71, you would have 71 cents remaining. So you have a positive 0.71. Okay, example 6. Here you owe 342 and you have 271. Before you ever start, you know that you're going to owe money. So at this point, while it's a little bit backwards, I would go 342 and I would take away 271. Now, you just need to find how much you owe. You know your answer is negative. So I know that this is kind of backwards, but it's easiest if you do this. The deal is you owe 71 cents. That, I don't know if that's confusing to you, but you could think of it on the number line like they did it, where you owe negative 342 and you move up to 71. You actually kind of have to think of that as being a difference between, like, how far did you go from here to here? Okay? In example 7, you owe it all. So in example 7, you owe 342 and you owe 271. You are going in debt more and more. Remember this little dash, I don't care what you call it, negative minus subtract, it means you owe. So here you owe a lot. And so in this case, I'm forgetting my signs and I'm just going to figure out how much do I owe. I know I owe it all. That could be a song. So I'm going to add them up. I know they're both negative, so I'm adding them up. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, $6.13, and I know that I owe it. So I actually add them together, if you can think about that, but just think money. I owe 342, I owe 271, so now I owe $6.13. And you can go on the number line, maybe it helps you better if you see that number line. So that's really all I have to show you. There's, that's pretty standard from what you did last year. You're just adding numbers. Now you're going to do this exercise set without a calculator. So I want you to go ahead and do that. No calculators allowed. I want you to do all the questions in the book, all the numbers, and all the letters. Yep, I think so. So away you go. Good luck. Maybe I'll show you just on this question number 2 really quick, just to help you understand how you can do it in the number line. When it says write the addition for each number diagram, you're going to make sure that you start with -2. Okay, so this answer would be -2, and I'm going to add how much? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to add 6 and arrive at 4. Does that make sense to you? So always start where the little dash is. This little dot, start at the dot. So the answer to this one would be 4 plus, and then how far did you go? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But you went backwards 6. So that's what they want you to do. They say you added, but you went back 6. And so you arrived at -2. All right? So that should give you a little bit of a head start for what you're going to have to do. So here you could press pause on this video and then do your homework. And Mrs. Bosky, if you could give them a good number of time, maybe till the bell goes, the first block is done. And then when the first block is over, then pick up and do the next lesson. So I'm going to go from there. Okay, so here I have gone to lesson 3.3. I want you to turn there in your books, and I'm just going to do the first part of it, just to remind you how to add and subtract fractions, because lots of people have problems remembering how to add and subtract. So we're just going to start that. I'll just remind you how to do this. Remember that when you add and subtract fractions, you have to have like denominators. So whether you're adding or subtracting, you need to have the denominators the same. If the denominators are already the same, life is good. You have 5/3 and 2/3 is 7/3. Simple. You don't even have to, you won't have to put it into mixed fractions. You can leave it the way it is. So 5/9 and 7/9 is 12/9. You should reduce. So 3 goes into 12 and 9. Goes in 4 times and 3 times. So you can leave it like that. Now, doesn't matter. It works the same as integers. So here you have 5/9 and you owe 7/9. This leaves you owing 2/9. Okay, so the work is all down there below if you need to. Now, if we need practice, so those questions you can leave them like that. But coming up here, of course I went too far. There's a little bit of review on example number 2 about how to convert 4 3/5 to an improper fraction, if you can't remember. So the quick way is to go 5 times 4 is 20, and then add the 3 and leave it over the 5. Okay, so, oops, that's 23 over 5. So just remember, you take the bottom. I'll tell you why. This really means you have 4 wholes and 3/5. So if I turn this into fifths, it would be the same as 20/5, correct? 20/5 is the same as 4. And then if I had 3 more fifths, that would give you 23/5. So that's why that works. But if you don't even want to remember, you can just go 5 times by 4, 5 times 4, and then add the 3. And that would give you 23/5. Okay. So we can go down to the next one, and it goes backwards. So if you have an improper fraction and you want to make it to a mixed number, 23/5 is the same as going 23. This means divide. 23 divided by 5. So you can ask yourself, okay, how many times? 23 divided by 5, how many times evenly? How many wholes are there? 23 divided by 5, 4 times evenly. And then there would be, well, that's 20. So you would have 3/5 left over. So it's exactly backwards. So hopefully that's a quick reminder. Just actually go 23 divided by 5 in your head, get that whole number, and then ask yourself how much is left over. Okay, subtracting fractions is exactly the same as we did when we added fractions. You have to have a common denominator. So if the denominators are the same, life is good. Just think about whether you have or whether you owe. So 4/9 take away 2/9 leaves you with 2/9. Okay, here's a minus question. If the signs are the same, both negatives, you can just make it a big plus. That's the easy one. So 5/7 and 4/7 is 9/7. Okay, and at this time, since we've remembered how to make this into a mixed fraction, you can say 9 divided by 7 goes 1 time, and I would have 2 left over, so 2/7. Now 3/5 and 5 3/5. I really strongly suggest that you not try to go 3 take away 5 and try to do that. It's just too complicated. The best way to do this is to change them into improper fractions and then subtract. So we're going to go 5 times 3 and get 15, and we're going to add the 1. So we're going to get 16/5. And we're going to subtract. 5 times 5 is 25, plus the 3 is 28. Now, think about in terms of money. You have 16 of them, but you owe 28. That leaves you owing 12/5. And now we know how to convert that to a mixed fraction. 12 divided by 5. First of all, the negative remains. Put the negative down. 12 divided by 5 twice. That'd make it 10. And then to get to 12, I'd have to have 2/5 left over. So that's my answer. Okay. So at this point, I don't want you to, we'll finish the lesson later. I want you just to do some homework. So the homework for this section, 3.3, So 3.3 homework is going to be questions 1 through 5. Do all the letters, okay? Questions 1 through 5. No calculator allowed. Just do questions 1 through 5 on this is page 103 to 104. All right, good luck with that.